Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. This week's article is Contemplating Edifices, Temporal and Eternal on the Feast of Tishri by Brother Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, and comes from the September-October 2025 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. In 1866, the Supreme Council of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry of the Southern Jurisdiction of the United States declared the 15th day of the Jewish month of Tishri, the equivalent of our October, to be the Feast of Tishri, also known as the Feast of Tabernacles. Thus, every autumn, the District of Columbia Scottish Rite and many Scottish Rite valleys in the Southern Jurisdiction celebrate this occasion. It is based on the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, a harvest festival known as the Feast of Tabernacles or the Festival of Booths in English translations of the Bible. We read in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 33 through 34. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of the Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. During this holiday, the Israelites of biblical antiquity would leave their homes and enter lightly built shelters, or booths, sukkah, constructed of the leaves and branches of trees, in commemoration of their 40-year sojourn from Egyptian bondage to the Promised Land. This follows the biblical injunction, Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 42. Yet the Feast of Tishri is more than simply Scottish Rite nomenclature for the Jewish holiday of Sukkot. Instead, it commemorates the particular Sukkot that occurred at the completion of construction of King Solomon's Temple. The Reverend Quadricos Driscoll, 32nd degree, KCCH, interviewed for this article, notes fittingly that this Scottish Rite holiday reminds all Masons that we are to be the embodiment of King Solomon's Temple, forever rebuilding ourselves, imagining a better world, with the hope of becoming the master craftsman for a better world and future. Dr. Gordon Black, in an article in the September 1964 New Age magazine, now the Scottish Rite Journal, explains how Solomon dedicated the first temple in Jerusalem. He sanctified it by asking God to keep in mind all people who would come to pray within its walls, not only Jews. In a similar way, the author notes Freemasonry honors God, regardless of that religion that each member calls his own. Likewise, the Feast of Tishri gives each Mason a unique path to follow, depending on where each of us is on his Masonic journey. This is reflected through the Mason's personal contemplation of two opposite edifices, one transient and temporal, and one durable and eternal. On the one hand, the Sukkah is symbolic of our fragile mortality on earth, inspiring the Mason to search for the spiritual, meditative life that transcends the material concerns of everyday life. At the same time, one can see in the feast a reminder of the completion of King Solomon's Temple, emblematic of the steadfast inner temple of one's immortal soul. Yet, at the very same moment, the Feast of Tishri calls us to celebrate our Scottish Rite community and Masonic brotherhood. It is the time for all Scottish Rite Masons to rejoice in fellowship, break bread with one another, and behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Psalm 133. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.